Yo, what's up, everybody? This is Todd. I'm here with Trenell, and we're here to start episode 72 of a weekly gaming news show. It's Sunday, October 29th, 2017.
That is correct. It's another Sunday, which means we got a lot of gaming news stories that we want to talk to you guys about. Starting with some updates from our previous episodes. So before we get into the meat and potatoes of everything, Boogie, why don't you take us through some updates and corrections?
Okay, so the first one is with the Nintendo Switch 4.04 firmware that they just released.
Right.
So we initially found out that there was a stealth update, whereas you can use USB headsets with your Nintendo Switch. There was an additional update to whereas you can use GameCube controllers with the Switch as well.
And that's using the GameCube controller adapter that they released with the Wii U or Super Smash Brothers for the Wii U.
Right.
So right now, using that device, you can plug it into the dock and then use GameCube controllers.
Yep.
For various games. And I heard about this from some other people. Apparently, it has like issues with missed inputs, like you'll press the button like in quick succession and it won't catch.
And miss one.
Yeah, it'll miss one. So it's not perfect. It's not 1-to-1. Hopefully, there's another firmware update that can like kind of optimize it a little bit more. But it is a thing, and it has a lot of people wondering, like, okay, like GameCube controllers equals Smash Brothers. So
that's what everything I've been seeing. People are all excited about that.
Right.
If it's missing inputs, that's probably why it wasn't announced. It may not be finished. It may be like a beta implementation.
Exactly. Most notably with the triggers, because you know how the triggers aren't really. It's a weird controller, the GameCube controller. It's a weird beast, and when you press in, when you reach the full press, there's actually a button on the inside as well.
Yeah, the end tap, right?
Yeah, the end tap. So like the end tap is where like if you press that quickly, you won't get that away. So that's one of the issues that I heard about it. A lot of people like playing Mario Kart where you're trying to like hit. Like, drifts on different sides or whatever, you're trying to drift really quickly, is not coming out. So, yeah, pretty cool. I don't know what's going on with Nintendo and these stealth patches or stealth updates. Like, what you trying to hide, Nintendo?
Yeah, my guess is, and I've seen that with Microsoft and Sony as well. A lot of times they don't announce those because it's not quite finished features.
Right. Yeah, so hopefully this means something. Because on the Wii U, it was weird. You could only use the GameCube controllers on Smash Brothers.
Wow.
But it looks like on the Switch, you can actually use the GameCube controller for a variety of different games.
That's cool.
It could mean that we may be getting some Smash, but it could possibly mean that they're just trying to include, more controller support.
For virtual console games, maybe.
Right? Yeah, maybe even virtual console games. So yeah, maybe we might get a GameCube virtual console. That'd be cool. Yep. So there's a lot of cool GameCube games out there. But let's go ahead and move on to the next update. What we got?
We got Neo. We talked about NeoGAF and the demise essentially last week, and the fallout continues as a new forum has surfaced using a lot of the old and highly respected admins. It's called Reset Era. Is up now, and in fact, is as of Friday, I believe it was having about the same amount of traffic as NeoGAF was having.
Yeah,
and that's concerning because they're specifically there to steal NeoGAF's thunder, to steal their users, and if they, and I think being up in 2 or 3 days, have close to the same traffic, it doesn't look good for NeoGAF, especially considering what the fallout was and the issues that they had there.
Right, and kind of to just piggyback on the story of NeoGAF, what happened last week. The founder, he did come out with a statement, and I think it was because of that statement why a lot of people decided, besides all of the allegations, I'm gonna leave this platform, because basically what they came out and said is that going forward, they're not going to allow for any type of non-gaming talk on the forum at all.
They shut it all down.
They shut it all down temporarily. They said for the time being, but shutting down something it's shutting it down. People aren't able to do it. People aren't able to voice their opinions on certain topics that the founder doesn't want them talking about, and that's kind of just goes against what NeoGAF, any open forum, and what a lot of the modders and moderators for NeoGAF like joined for. It goes against the core reason why they joined the forum in the first place. So yeah, this is major news, man. This is major news. I actually got a tweet about it. I'm like, oh shit, like this is important. I didn't know exactly what it was at first, but I mean, it's definitely important. These guys they're serious, you know. They want to continue the legacy of what NeoGAF meant to them,
the community
somewhere else.
They just want to disengage and distance themselves from what is his name now? I forgot, but the founder of NeoGAF.
Evil Lore.
Evil Lore. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so good luck to you, everybody over there at Reset Era. Maybe I'll make an account. Hopefully, it doesn't take 2 weeks to get freaking to get in. I don't know.
It looks like all the big names are there, and a lot of like the industry insiders that were feeding a lot of the information to NeoGAF are over there. So,
okay.
I mean, it's going to look like it's going to be the new era NeoGAF.
Yep, and the name fits. Is the Reset Era. It fits pretty perfectly. They I see what you did there, my boy. All right, so let's go ahead and move on with that. That was the updates section of the podcast. If there's any kind of corrections or updates from previous stories that we missed or don't get the time to touch up on, we usually put it in this section. So going forward, if there's anything that we missed, anything that we're wrong about, do not hesitate to correct us. We'll definitely make mention of it either like live or in the next episode in the updates section. That's kind of what we do here. But moving forward, we're going to jump into the weekly icebreaker. And if you're new to the podcast, the weekly icebreaker is a question that we ask between each other to get a sense of where we are on certain gaming topics. And this week's question comes from Boogie. And it's actually a pretty good one. I like this question. It is, what odd gaming peripheral do you still own and love? And this is actually a pretty cool question. I have a very specific answer, so I want you to go first and then I'll go.
Well, this is going to piggyback off of, lead into one of the stories we have this week, but my Kinect, I know millions people hate the Kinect, or it didn't not necessarily hate it, but they just didn't find it. It's a really a niche product, right? It's really a niche product, but I still use my Kinect with the voice commands. Okay. And my 7-year-old, we have Dance Central. I just bought the new one. And she loves the Dance Central. Her friends come over, they sit and play it. So yeah, I still use it. I like the Kinect. I'm sad to see it go. It's just sad that it didn't. I don't think it reached its potential. Right. And it's a myriad of reasons as to why it didn't reach its potential. But yeah, the Kinect. I'm going to keep my Kinect, and I'm probably going to keep my eyes open for some cheap blowout $30 Kinect. So when mine does die at some point, I can just replace it.
I'll just give you mine, dude. I'm not doing nothing with it. It's literally collecting dust. I'm about to package it up so I can sell it on eBay in 30 years for $1 million.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, I'm gonna go a little bit back into the past and say that my VMU for my Sega Dreamcast is probably one of my favorite gaming peripherals, man. Like, that thing was dope, dude. Like,
take it out and play the little mini
You can play the mini Like, what memory card? Like, and this was back in the day when memory cards were a necessity. I mean, it's probably on the same level as external like hard drives are today. It's like you need it in order to continue playing your games. It's like there's no way you're gonna get by or get far without some kind of external memory source, and that's what memory cards were back in the day. My first memory card was the N64 one, and I really liked how them things just like locked and snapped. It was like it sounded like you were like assembling like a weapon or something, like a weapon of mass destruction. But the Dreamcast took it a bit further and gave that thing some form of like connectability, like they allowed you not only to save your games, but then to download games and then take that thing to go and play games like anywhere. It was freaking crazy, man.
Like a mini portable. It was odd. It was an odd thing. It was super cool. And on top of that, when you plugged it into the Dreamcast controller, because it had that LCD screen,
right,
it gave you information on the game you were playing.
Right,
you get information on the game you were playing. It was
pretty
really
innovative.
Cool.
It was pretty cool. Like if you are playing like a fighting game or something, it'll like show you like little like icons for the different players. It'll be like Ryu versus Ken or something like that. It was, oh man, it was cool, man.
Yeah.
And while they did have memory cards that didn't have the LED like interface and all that,
right?
Like nobody bought those, man. I have about 5 VMUs. It's fully functional. I replaced the batteries whenever they go low. Like I have them. I love them.
Couldn't you you can attach 2 VMUs to get to each other?
Dog, you can play multiplayer.
Right. Yep, that's right.
Yes.
The thing about the VMUs is you would think it was like at that day age they were super expensive, but they were only like $20. $20 for a VMU, right. And it's the same price as PlayStation memory card. PlayStation 2 memory card was $20, and it was just a big piece of plastic.
Right, just a piece of plastic that went into your system. Like this one was in your controller, it was in your face, and then you could take it to go and like play games by yourself or with friends. And then in some cases, you could transfer data. Because I remember for a fact in Marvel vs. Capcom 2, you could trade unlockable characters via the VMUs.
Yep.
And it was freaking awesome.
Connect them and I remember.
Like, dude, I do not have enough points to unlock Ken or whoever. Like, do you have him? Yes, I do. Let me blop. I got him. Yeah. It was probably one of the coolest things ever. I love the VMU. Yeah, Rest in peace to the Dreamcast, man. I love you. Oh, so that was a good question. That was our weekly icebreaker. If you have a question that you would like to ask us for the weekly icebreaker, you can do so via our social media. Hit us up on Twitter or on Facebook, or you can leave a comment down in the comment section of wherever you're watching this media, whether it's on Facebook or it's on YouTube or on your favorite podcasting app. Just leave us a comment down in the comment section below, and just use the hashtag weekly icebreaker. And if it's a good question and something that we want to, talk about, we'll definitely do it live on the podcast. But with that said, let's go ahead and move into the next segment of the show, which is our quick hits. And the quick hits are short stories that don't necessarily deserve a deep dive, but we do want to address them with you and just get the discussion out there. Just like start a little bit of a discussion, because some of these are actually pretty important. So I do want to address the majority of these. So let's go down the list. And the first quick hit that we have is going to be related to Boogie's favorite game, which is the Destiny.
Destiny 2.
Yeah, it just came out on PC not too long ago.
Right, this past Tuesday or Wednesday. This week, Destiny 2 released on PC. Mm-hmm. And immediately about 400 players were banned.
Like within like what? Like
within a day. Within like the 24 hours, first 24 hours. Crazy. And of course, the bannees got up and he's like, well, I got banned because I was using overlays, or they were blaming use of stuff like Discord and OBS and stuff. And eventually Bungie came out and was like, yeah, no, that's not why we banned you. We banned you because you were using something that would affect the gameplay, which basically they're probably using like aimbots or some type of cheat.
Right, aimbots or something like that.
Right, some kind of cheating program. Now they did overturn a few. They initially overturned 4. Where 4 people had been banned from the beta. They didn't specifically say why they were banned in the beta, but those 4 people that were banned during the PC beta got their bans overturned. And they went back and overturned a couple of more. But they did say, first off, that these players were not auto-banned. They were monitored as having some kind of odd type of something unusual about their gameplay, and they were reviewed manually and they were banned. And as it is, PC players or players in general, cheaters, they get on and be like, oh, I didn't do anything. That's bullcrap. They cheat. You did it, and you got caught.
And a lot of people were coming out and saying that it was their like streaming software or whatever, because and a message was posted on the Bungie forums, basically saying that OBS and XSplit are not supported. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that you will get banned for using it, but
they did come out and specifically say we will not. These players were not and will not be banned for using those. Discord, XSplit, OBS, RTSS, they won't be banned for using those.
That came out later. This post came out first, and then there was a second one that came out that explained nobody was banned for using these services. Right. But they did detail this is not supported. this is supported, blah blah blah.
Right.
Because a lot of people we're using like programs like Fraps that would keep count their frames per second, their frame rate and whatnot. And that's not supported. The game has an in-game frame counter that you can use, and you have to do it their way. So, but it does not say that they were banned for those reasons.
Right, and they specifically said they wouldn't ban for using those type of programs. Mm-hmm. So those things like the Fraps, and even though they're not necessarily supported, and even though Bungie has some built-in features in the game, if you're using that stuff, they specifically said you won't be banned for that.
Right.
And they specifically said that players were not these players that were affected were not banned for using those type of programs. So at the end of the day, people were cheating and they got caught.
Right, but the thing is, I don't know, and it's just online chatter. But a lot of people have been saying that I haven't used like any program whatsoever. I've been banned, and like one of the major issues is that they are not telling people why they're banned. They're not displaying or giving any kind of insight on why you were banned. All that they know is that they've been banned, and there's two types of bans that are going out, both which are permanent. You have the account ban, and then you have the device ban.
Device ban. Yep.
So people are not they're not getting any specifics on why they're banned, and I think that's where a lot of confusion is coming from. Because I mean, if you're cheating, whatever. But if there's no reason for it, then like no reason given for it, then I don't know. I guess that you can leave it up to speculation, but I don't know.
This is what I would say about that, because unfortunately, especially the PvP is super competitive,
right?
And people are ridiculous in what they do and how they cheat, and it's been pervasive in Destiny since Destiny 1. It became a huge issue once Trials of Osiris started. I think that was the second year of Destiny. If you're getting banned, let me step back. Bungie has gotten real good at catching cheaters and kicking them off the game.
And they have like their anti-cheat mechanism and going on and everything.
So if you got now, obviously, if it was a mistake, they will overturn. They will go back. I mean, there is a appeal process you can go through, and they will review, and in the appeal process, they will detail what they found and why they banned you.
Okay.
So all these people that are online saying, "Oh, they banned me for no reason," and they never told me why. If they appealed it, they know exactly why they got banned.
So you get the reason during the appeal process, not during the initial ban. Also, you're not allowed to get a refund if you're banned either. They're not issuing refunds for people that are banned.
You're violating the terms of service. Remember, you don't own the software; you just license the use.
Right.
So you violate the terms of service. You forfeit your rights at this point.
Yeah. So I think it was up to like over 400 PC players were banned within 24 hours of the PC release. So yeah, those guys they're not messing around, dude. They're not messing around. Like all of these cheat devices and cheat mechanisms are so easy to come by these days,
especially on PC.
Especially on PC that they're not taking anything for granted. They're not taking any chances. Like if their system detects even the slightest hint at something, like you're just getting banned. Like it doesn't say anything. Like you go into the game, when you try to log in, it'll say something slick like, "Hold on a second, you're banned." And it's like, yeah, dude, like you can appeal it, and if they made a mistake, then you'll be unbanned. But if not, then you're gone, dude.
Yep. And like I said, what I'm seeing in this, how I read this, is they really want to nip it in the bud. Mm-hmm. They're basically doing some public executions to get people to know, like, so they can stop the influx of cheating, because it's real bad on console.
Dude, you wouldn't think it is. It's freaking rampant, man.
It's bad on console, and what they do on console is mainly network manipulation from DDoSing and what they call lag switching and that type of stuff. So it's rampant on console, and it's pretty difficult to cheat on console. It's much easier to cheat on PC.
Exactly.
So what they did is they did a public hanging, and because they want people to know that we don't want cheaters on our game. If you're going to play our game and cheat, we're going to kick you off. Yeah,
and deservingly so. Let's go ahead and move on to the next quick hit. And this is a company that we haven't talked about for quite a while, probably for good reason.
Nothing to talk about.
Yeah, nothing to talk about. Yeah, but Konami is back in the news on two different fronts. The first thing that we want to talk about is the fact that they are working on a live action movie and TV show for the Contra series. Right. Now, they just wrapped up, or I guess it's been wrapped up for a while, the first season of the Castlevania Netflix series, which I watched and I actually enjoyed it.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty freaking good. It's super visceral, super lots of violence, lots of gore, but that's what you expect from like a Castlevania with like vampires and zombies and ghosts and demons and stuff. So it was very faithful to what I would imagine the series to be like. So that was actually pretty good. So I don't know, moving forward with Contra, can they do it? I don't know.
Well, I think the only thing they will have a problem with on Contra is that it's an old IP. It hasn't been relevant in so long.
Right.
But all Contra is what? Big dudes with guns shooting aliens. I mean, that's easy to do, right? That's fairly easy to do.
Shouldn't be too hard, but...
that's all the movies, right? Transformers and Pacific Rim and Star Wars and all this dudes with guns shooting aliens.
Yeah.
So that's an easy premise. I found it interesting. They did pick a Chinese production company to do the TV show, even though it's set for worldwide release. It's a Chinese company. A company is called Starlight Film, Chinese production company that's going to be doing both the TV show and the movie. So it'd be interesting, and it'd be interesting what type of release. If it's going to be a TV release, a streaming release, or if it's going to be a full-on straight movie theater release. That'd be interesting too. But
yeah, I don't know. I feel like it'd be kind of hard to get Contra into a movie theater just because of like the nature of the movie and like how we're in the age of outrage right now. Somebody's gonna be pissed off. Like I don't know.
I mean, it's just dudes. It's an alien action movie. I mean, I guess that's no different than many other stuff.
That's why I'm thinking like more of like a Netflix movie or like a Netflix series might be a little bit more suitable for the type of content or the kind of story, depending on what kind of story they're telling. Like because there's actually a lot of different like branching Contra IPs. Like they have like a spin-off games like the hardcore series. Then they have the classic series. So it all depends on what kind of story they're going to tell. Like if it's going to be campy or if it's going to take itself kind of serious. Like you never really know. Right. But with the success of the Castlevania series on Netflix, I really do think that this might be the only way that they keep their IPs relevant because like they're not making games anymore.
And they said they weren't going to really want to make. They didn't really want to make games anymore. They make parlor games. They make freaking video poker.
Yeah, video poker, like little machines. Like urinal piss games and freaking pachinko machines. That's about it. So I think if they can do it right, if they can be like nearly as faithful to Contra as they were to Castlevania, I think we might have something special on our hands. And this just might be the future of these IPs. Like they'll go from being like these like super well-renowned video game franchises to like these multinational like movie and like media like IPs instead.
Maybe it's possible.
It's very possible, but
it's interesting. I mean, Contra, at least growing up a long time ago, like it was one of my favorite games. I enjoyed Contra. Up, down, down, left, right, BA start.
Right, yeah, the Contra code, man. Like, Konami has a lot of history in the gaming like universe. Like I really think that you know what, it actually makes a lot of sense because a lot of people that played those games back then, they're grown. They're our age, so like they may be interested in watching something like that.
Yep.
So it makes sense. So why not do it?
Yeah.
Moving on, we have one more Contra story that came up.
Konami story.
Oh yeah, sorry, not Contra, but Konami story that came up, and this is dealing with the Metal Gear franchise. A lot of people know the history behind Konami and the Metal Gear franchise. With the release of Metal Gear Solid 5, there came like a falling out between Konami and their head developer, producer, I don't know what you want to call him, the guy that was making them all the money, Kojima, where he actually disbanded or was fired or whatever the case, and created his own team. But Konami decided that they were going to continue making Metal Gear games. And the game that we're talking about right now is Metal Gear Survive. It was announced during E3. Was it this? It was this recent E3, wasn't it?
Yeah, this past year.
Yeah, this past year they announced.
No, wait. I think it was last year. It was last year. It was last summer, I think. Yeah, 2016.
Okay.
Yeah, because they had that Tokyo Game Show. Remember, they had the gameplay.
You're right. Yeah, so last E3, they announced Metal Gear Survive coming out in February 2018, and it uses the Metal Gear Solid 5 engine. And instead of being a stealth like espionage game, it's more of a co-op survival horror game.
Zombie
apocalypse.
Zombies and freaking Metal Gear is the dumbest thing.
Yeah, it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, seeing how this was, Kojima's project for so many years, that Konami's going to continue on without him. So that was one thing, and then the other was just like they're just turning the genre on its head and implementing things that probably would never even fit in the Metal Gear universe.
No, it's just like a Me Too thing, and on top of it being a Me Too thing, it's already late. Zombies are looks like to be fading down the wayside. People are getting tired of zombies.
Yeah, people. I've been tired of zombies for quite some time. But the reason that we're bringing it up this week is because on the main website, when you go to the products page, you can see that Metal Gear Survive will require a constant internet connection in order to play, and that's both online and offline.
Right, and, single player or multiplayer.
Right, and the reason that they're saying this is because there's aspects of the single player mode that translate over into multiplayer, so you need an always online connection. But this is something that has just proven to be like a pain in everybody's ass. Like, not everybody has a constant internet connection like everywhere. I think when you do that, you're pinching off people that may only have the ability to play offline.
Well,
in an already like dwindling fan base, or right. I guess
I look at it this way. I mean, right now, people that have PlayStations and Xboxes and Nintendo Switches, they're always online. I mean, there's the number of people that don't have online always on connections that play console games is a super small minority, which again I will always go back to. I don't understand what the outrage was with people when Microsoft announced that the Xbox needed to be always connected, but that's neither here nor there. It's just, I don't know. I mean, there's tons of games out right now that are single player or multiplayer that always needs an online connection. You can't play without. This is just another one of those games. I mean, does it make the game unusable for a subset of people? Yeah, there's going to be people that have Xboxes and PlayStations that aren't able to be online all the time, and some that don't take it online at all. The only games they buy are single player, non-online games. And that's fine. And those people won't be able to play this game. But I don't think it's that huge of a deal. I think the biggest issue with this being always online is probably because of the severe tie-in it's going to have with the microtransactions.
Exactly.
And that can be super problematic. I mean, because basically what it seems like to me is that it always has to be online so it can verify that the stuff you're using you paid for.
Right, like the copy of the game is legitimate. I was thinking more like them trying to implement like some like really serious DRM in order to apply those microtransactions, but also in order to prevent what's it called? Like people stealing the game, piracy protection.
On the console, that's like is super hard on consoles.
Right. Yeah.
On PC, yeah, because this is also going to be on Steam. But I mean, that's on Steam. Even it's super hard on Steam as well. So I don't know. I think it's a dumb game. At the very least.
At the very least, it's a dumb game.
The always online thing, I mean, it doesn't bother me, but I'm always online. There's going to be people that may want to play this that's not going to be able to play it. That sucks for them. But I mean, when you go down the line, you look at games. One of the other games I play all the time, Destiny, is always online. You can't play it without an online connection. There's many other games like that. So, it's just par with the course these days. I mean, everybody, all these companies are making these games. They want to make them huge and rich and multiplayer and blah blah blah, and then they throw in, oh yep, always got to be connected to the internet because that's how we're going to do it.
Yeah. But that's enough Konami. I feel like that was the first time we talked about them in a long time. So let's go ahead and move on. We have one more quick hit for you. And this is kind of an update to a story that we had a while ago.
Yeah.
We talked about Mass Effect Andromeda and how EA was pulling out of that project. They're no longer going to be supporting it. And that included the expansion, the single-player expansion, which would have covered the Turian arc.
Right, because that didn't make it into the game.
It did make it into a game. It was kind of like an open thread that was left open at the end of the game, and it was supposed to be expanded upon via DLC. But with the announcement that they were going to shift gears, they closed down the studio that worked on it and kind of like absolved them into another subsect of EA subsidiaries. That meant that you're not going to get it, at least not in video game form. Right. In recent news, the novel that they promised seems to be on its way, and it'll tie up loose ends, involving the Turian arc, and it's actually due to come out pretty soon. It's being written by oh god, I don't know how to say this name. Catherine M. Valiente? Hold
on. Let me look at it.
Yeah, because I can't say that.
Oh, Catherine Valente.
Valente, okay, fine. Yeah. So yeah, she'll be writing the book. I'm not sure what she's worked on in the past, but I don't know. This basically allows for people or fans of the Andromeda universe to kind of just get some kind of closure. It may not have been the closure that you wanted, but I mean, at least it's there. It's better than nothing, I guess.
Right, it's better than nothing. Yeah. I don't know. It kind of sucks. I would rather had it fleshed out during the in game, but at least they giving you the option to pick up and find out what exactly happened.
Right.
My guess is probably the novels are going to come out of the storyboards they had already written up for it. And I'm going to say this. This is pure theory and conjecture. The game could have been that particular story arc was taken out of the game,
out of the core game.
Yeah, because the game was unfinished and they wanted to rush it out to meet a deadline. If they would have just delayed the game a little more, they would have been able to put that in the game, and the game would have been actually much better because all of the bugs and junk that was screwed in the game would have been able to been taken out as well.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's at least there's going to be some kind of closure. This isn't the way you want to close, especially an epic game like Mass Effect.
I know, man.
But this is the way it's going to go. And the Catherine Valente. I mean, if you're a book reader. Because I don't read books.
I don't read books.
Actually, I take that back. I don't read fiction. If I read a book, it's always nonfiction.
Okay.
But like the Labyrinth, the Ice Puzzle, the Grass Cutting Sword, Deathless, Radiance, those are books, novels she had previously written. She's got a long list of awards that she's even collected. So it looks like it's in the hands of a capable writer. She seems to be a fantasy writer. So. We'll see how that goes. It's definitely something I'm not going to like I said, I don't read fiction.
Yeah, I haven't even beaten the freaking core campaign. So I don't know anything about the Korean arc right now, and I really don't care to expand on.
Right, it was missing, right? And like the way the story goes, you got to find the arc. I think it was 3 of them, right?
Right.
It was Human, the Quarian, the Turian, and the Krogan one,
right.
Whoever. Yeah, it was a bunch of them. So you go through the game and you find the arcs, and apparently this one you couldn't find.
You couldn't find it. Yeah.
Yeah, it just got left off. But
yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so super. I guess it's kind of like the light at the end of the tunnel. I mean, it was a super unfortunate set of events that plagued the Andromeda life cycle.
Mm-hmm.
This is just kind of just like a little twinkle, okay, yeah, we'll give you something to kind of just mend those wounds, because man, Andromeda burnt a lot of people. A lot of people were unsatisfied, and you know, while I don't think that the game is horrible, it just was not what I was looking for in a follow up or a sequel to Mass Effect 3.
It seemed to be a little bit dated in his gameplay and such.
Yeah, let's just hope that, you know, whatever EA is doing over there, they bring us something special next time around. Because hopefully. if not, BioWare is done.
Yeah, true.
They are done. But yeah, so that was our quick hits. Quick little stories that we wanted to bring up and address with you guys. If you have any stories that you would like to submit that you think are worthy of a discussion, let us know down in the comments section or via our social media. Any stories that are submitted are usually put into the quick hits, but some can be put into the top 5 news stories if they're big enough. But that's usually how we do it. But let's go ahead and move on to the meat and potatoes of the podcast. And that is going to be the top 5 news stories for this week. But before we do that, I do want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors. Everybody over at the New Challenger Discord. If you're playing Street Fighter V, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, Injustice 2, or Tekken 7, go to newchallenger.gg and get good at your favorite fighting game with your favorite character. The Discord is filled with tons of currently and active video game players, you know, coaching one-on-one or in a group setting. They do bi-weekly tournaments in Street Fighter V and Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. And they have just a lot of tools to get you started on, you know, your path to greatness. They will be supporting upcoming fighting games like Dragon Ball Fighter Z. So if you want to get a head start in, you know, just getting involved in the community, there's the best way to do it is just join the Discord. If you go to newchallenger.gg, you can get all the information there. Also, make sure that you hit them up on Twitter, which is New Challenger TV, and go to their Twitch channel as well, because they do post, or they do live stream the bi-weekly tournaments, and they do have shows that they produce as well, like the Beginner Breakdown, which takes a user submitted video and gives you the ins and outs on what you're doing wrong and what you need to do in order to improve. So it's a really cool tool. So make sure you go there. It's newchallenger.gg, and shout out to Mr. Vinegar, who is the founder of the Discord channel, and also a big shout out to Mount Lover, who is not only a friend to a weekly gaming news show, he's been on the podcast a few times, but also he is a moderator and coach for Street Fighter V, and he is the commentator for the North American Street Fighter V tournament series, which is going pretty well from what I have heard. So let's go ahead and move on. The top 5 news stories for this week. We are starting off with something that we mentioned before, and that is the demise of the Kinect. Now, Boogie,
you gotta play Task.
Yeah. Man, we've been saying goodbye to a lot of things lately. We said goodbye to Visceral Games. What else did we've been saying goodbye for?
A lot of goodbyes. Yeah.
A lot of goodbyes.
It was
lately.
Another studio.
I can't remember what it was.
Yeah,
but a couple studios is just biting the dust.
It was EA even. They got rolled into
the BioWare Montreal, I think it was. Yeah. So we're saying goodbye to a gaming peripheral that nobody really wanted. Honestly, man, nobody wanted to Kinect, man. Nobody wanted it.
Yeah, I mean it's a game.
It was a. I feel like. And like I got my Xbox One not at launch, but when it was still bundled with the Kinect, right? So I got it, and like I was fine with it. Like as a multimedia device, it was fine. I live in a space where I cannot play Kinect games because I'm too close to the TV or whatnot. But as a multimedia device, as like a navigation tool, it is actually pretty damn functional, and I can say that I actually like put a lot of use into it.
Right.
But as a gaming device, and this is me when it comes to all types of crazy wacky peripherals, like any kind of motion control, any kind of like VR, like I'm not against it, but it will never replace controller in hand, looking at a TV. It'll never even come close, in my opinion. So, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I said that's the problem with the Kinect. It wasn't that it was a bad idea. It wasn't even implemented poorly. It's just that what you needed to do to use it, which is get up and jump around and move around. And most gamers, especially the games that we play, when you look at your first-person shooters and your racing simulators and your fighting games, nobody's going to run around trying to punch, kick, and jump. To play these games. For one, is not intuitive. Is really good for the dance games, like I said, prior
party games.
Me and my daughter, she loves it. She loves the Kinect because she loves the dance game. She likes music. She likes to dance. She loves it. So yes, I will still be getting use out of it that way, and I still use it for the voice commands. It's nothing like being all bundled up. It's chilly. You bundle up on the couch and just say, "Hey, because Kinect, play the next video," and it's playing it.
Yeah.
Go to HBO. Go to that's amazing. I love that. I've always loved that.
Yeah, especially
feature.
with the TV guy, because you can just like turn your channels and all that.
Yep.
So it does have its uses, but as a gaming peripheral, it wasn't there.
It's not there, and I don't think any of the motion control stuff from the Wii to the PlayStation Move, none of that stuff was worth anything. The motion controls aren't a thing for gaming, at least serious gamers. But yeah, as it stands, so the Kinect they're going to stop manufacturing Kinects. The ones that are on the shelves, they're still going to sell them. And once they sell through those, there'll be no more. Apparently, over the 7-year life of the Kinect, there were 35 million units sold. That's Kinect 2 and the original Xbox 360 Kinect. And it's not Kinect as a gaming peripheral is dead. The technology is not.
It is because
not. It's in the HoloLens. It's in the
iPhone
Microsoft's.
X.
Is in the what?
The iPhone X.
Yeah, the iPhone 10. Yep, that technology is being used for the facial recognition. It's also being used in all of the Microsoft platform. What do they call mixed reality glasses? Are using Kinect technology as well.
Right, because I think what I read was that the company that came up with the technology was bought by Apple.
Yeah.
So now the technology is being implemented into the iPhone X. And the HoloLens is going to use it, so the technology is still there, and it is a technological marvel. Like when you get into the details of what it can do, like it's a solid camera,
right? So that tech split. So the company that built the original Kinect, Microsoft poached quite a few of their engineers, and they stopped working with them on the Kinect 2. And they basically took the underlying original Kinect and they improved it for the Kinect 2.0 and left that company alone. And that's when Apple bought them like shortly, like real soon after. And they've been working on that particular issue, a facial recognition thing for several years now. But I mean, the Kinect, I mean, it's everywhere. A lot of Microsoft, even if you have a new Windows 10 laptop and you have that Hello camera, they have the laptops that has the Hello camera. You open it up, it looks at your face and it unlocks your PC for you because it recognizes you. It's the same thing that the iPhone 10 is using. That's Kinect technology as well. So, and the Kinect is also used in a lot of some industries for scanning, and some of the medical fields for 3D scanning and such. So the technology is going to be there. It's just not a gaming peripheral, and it never really was, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest downfalls of the Xbox One, at least at launch, was forcing the bundle. They really wanted this thing in everybody's home, but they never really got any studio to make any groundbreaking titles for it.
Yeah, because that's because it's at a time now where all of the studios were bought up by these major publishers, and they don't take the chances anymore.
Right.
They go, the lowest common denominator. What's going to get us the most money at the cheapest cost? And making some kind of super great or taking full advantage of this is going to cost too much money in R&D to actually figure out how to use it, what's going to be the most efficient way, and a way that people are going to like it. So instead of them doing that, they just poo-pooed it. They did a little, for instance,
Kinect Sports and all that.
Yeah, I'll never forget. It was NBA 2K. So if you play an NBA 2K and you mess up and you cuss,
you get a technical foul. Yeah.
And the same thing in FIFA. In FIFA, if it hears you cuss, you get carded. And I thought that, and then also on Madden, you can call audibles.
Yeah. So and then in Alien Isolation, if you're making a lot of noise and the Kinect can hear you, like the alien's coming after you, man. You better shut the hell up. Stop breathing so hard.
Those little features were really cool, but you can do that outside of it. You can just do that with a plain headset.
Right.
You don't need $100 peripheral for that. So
right. Yeah. And a lot of the really like neat things that it was was just like, spread out. It was like just too far in between. So it will be, it will live on in future technology. But yeah, so that was a little like farewell to the Kinect. Yeah. It had a couple of cool titles, a couple of cool like little gimmicks. Like the one that you always bring up was the one where you use your body to like make platforms for a character.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I have that game too. Yeah. I forgot the name of it. Yeah, that game is cool. Yeah. It's a platformer. You use your body. Your body silhouette is the bridge. Right. That's how you get them to get through the level. That's pretty cool. Yeah.
So it's like a lot of really cool ideas, but I don't know.
That's not really caught on massively.
No. Yeah. But let's go ahead and move on to the next story. And now we're talking still with Microsoft. We're talking about November's Games with Gold because those were announced. Games with Gold, if you are unfamiliar, is 4 free games, 2 from the 360 and 2 for Xbox One X or Xbox One, which are all playable on the Xbox One. Yeah. They're all free, 4 free games just for being a Xbox Live Gold subscriber. This month, we are getting 4 titles. A lot that I've never played before, honestly. First up, we have is Trackmania.
Yeah, Trackmania is actually not a bad game. It's a racing game. Like, it's like a RC cars.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like Micro Machines. Remember that game?
Yeah. Yeah, that maybe Micro Machines. I was going to say RC Pro-Am from the old Nintendo.
Right.
Yeah, like that. But it looks cool. I wonder. I played this. If I didn't play this, I played another version of it.
Right.
It's not horrible. I played it like one of my little nephews a couple years ago. But it's not horrible. It's a cool game. It can be fun, especially if you can get people to play with. It's fun.
Right. Next up, go ahead.
Okay. Then there's Tales from the Borderlands. That's a Telltale game, Borderlands game. It's actually really good. It's all 5 seasons. If you like the Telltale games, this is definitely one you should try. And even if you're not a huge fan of Telltale, but you are a Borderlands fan, this is something you should also try. I would recommend it highly.
Right. Next up, and these are the 360 games. First, we have Nights into Dreams, which is a Sega Saturn title that was released on the Xbox Live Arcade. And it's made by the same people behind Sonic the Hedgehog, made by Sonic Team. Yep. So this is a very unique game, one that I've never played, and it's actually pretty weird as a hardcore Sonic fan that I've never played Nights into Dreams. But I never had a Saturn.
That's what I was going to say. You probably didn't have a Saturn.
Didn't have a Saturn. Did. Yeah, was not balling back in the 90s. So I never had a Saturn, and I kind of just like missed out on the arcade release. So this is definitely one that I'm going to pick up. It's kind of like I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of like a puzzle game.
It's a puzzle platformer.
It's like a puzzle flight platforming game.
It's just you're not running, you're flying.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's a puzzle platformer. Yeah, it's a fun game. I had it for the Saturn. It's one of the few like highly ranked, highly regarded games that came out on the Saturn.
Right.
It's a good game. I'm definitely excited to pick that up again, and play it. It's going to be. I'll have a good time with that.
Right. And then the last game we have, and this is one that I've never heard of, is Deadfall Adventures. And this just looks like a generic first-person shooter made by Nordic Games before they acquired all of the cool IPs that they currently have.
It's a first-person shooter. Think of it's like Indiana Jones, Uncharted in first person. It's one of those type of Tomb Raider type storylines.
Yeah, like just raiding tombs, getting loot, blah blah blah. Your standard affair. So yeah, those are the 4 games that will be available this month. As always, you get the first half from the 1st to the 15th, and then the second half of the 4 games you get during the 15th or 16th to the 30th or whatever the month ends.
Yep.
And like we said before, all 4 games are available for download and play on the Xbox One.
That's right.
So backwards compatibility, boys, we in there. Now let's go ahead and move on to the next story.
Okay, so.
Oh God.
There was a Nintendo Direct.
Oh God.
Animal Crossing for the Switch. No, not really.
Yeah, no.
So there's Animal Crossing was announced at a Nintendo Direct. It's a Nintendo Direct Animal Crossing, and it's an Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. It's a mobile game. It's going to be on iOS and Android. It's free to play. It's going to be loaded.
That's all it is.
Yeah, it's going to be loaded with microtransactions for sure. And I mean, if you're an Animal Crossing fan, I never was interested in Animal Crossing, but if you're an Animal Crossing fan, it would be familiar to you because a lot of the gameplay is this familiar Animal Crossing gameplay.
Right.
There's some additional gameplay and some multiplayer type stuff added into it. But yeah, I mean, it's Animal Crossing for mobile. I don't plan on getting it. I am a firm non-believer of Nintendo right at this current point in time. They're just not doing it for me. I mean, I do want Mario Odyssey. That game does look legit. But outside of that, they are not doing anything that makes me want to that just makes me want to jump out and praise them for anything. And just seeing the nature of Animal Crossing, this game is going to be filled to the brim with microtransactions because that's just the nature of Animal Crossing in itself. It, when you start the game, you build a house and then you're in Omega super death debt. You're paying back money. It's I can't imagine how much money they're gonna try to pinch out of people just to do simple game functions. Right. It's gonna be crazy. The way it goes, you don't get a house, you get an RV, and it's the same thing. You get your RV, you buy furniture, knickknacks and stuff for it. You can trade with people, blah 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 blah. And yeah, I don't. There's no chance. What it is though is they tried the Mario Run model where it was a premium game. You pay $10 for it and play it. That didn't go over too well. That didn't do too well apparently. So now they're going to move into the microtransaction world. And to be quite honest, most of the games on mobile, iOS and Android, they are They're mainly free to play and have tons of microtransactions or tons of advertisements or both.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the model for mobile, and that's what Nintendo's going to try. And they picked a good game because Animal Crossing has a rabid fan base, and the people that play it love it and will play it to death. And they're more than likely to spend money in it.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's what Nintendo is banking on. So hide your wallets because Animal Crossing is coming very soon to the U.S. It's already available, I think, in Australia.
Oh, in Australia, yep, it's available in Australia.
It's available in Australia.
They said the end of November for North America, and I don't remember what they said for Europe.
Okay, so it's coming soon. So prep them wallets, my boys. Hide your wallets from your kids because they're gonna want to hang out with the characters, man. It's gonna cost money.
I don't understand why an entire Nintendo Direct was needed for this.
It wasn't, dude, and that's my thing about Nintendo Directs now. That's why I do not get hyped over Nintendo Directs because they don't give us any substantial news that can't just be given in a trailer video or a press release or something. Everything that they want to tell us now has to be with a direct because of the impact that it had, years ago.
They're just watering it down.
Yeah, they're just watering it down. So now to me, Nintendo Direct means absolutely nothing.
Right.
A Nintendo Direct does not warrant a freaking mobile phone game release. Get out of here. I'm done. No. It's not. This is a nothing story to me, honestly. But that's Nintendo for you. Let's go ahead and move on. What we got next?
This is really interesting. So EA has teamed up with FIFA for an World Cup. So FIFA 18, they're going to have a World Cup championship in August of 2018, and the actual World Cup series starts on November 3rd, which is next Friday, this coming Friday, I think it is actually.
Yep.
Basically they have qualifier tournaments that start, and it's going to be based off of if you're a FIFA team, it's going to be based off of your Ultimate Team, the FIFA Ultimate Team, the FUT, where you buy the cards, you get the players, you build them out, so on and so forth. So they're definitely going to have a real tournament. It's going to be 128 players in that qualify for the playoffs that start in June, 64 each from PlayStation and Xbox, and the grand final is in August. There's going to be qualifying events. There's going to be based off. Oh gosh, now my head, I'm losing my mind here. There's qualifying events. There's going to be tournaments. There's also going to be players able to qualify or get ranked based on their Ultimate Team performance throughout the seasons.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of cool. This kind of worries me though, because FIFA Ultimate Team as well as Madden Ultimate Team are or can be driven by microtransactions. So this can lead to almost pay to win. I mean, you can win the cards, but you can also buy the Ultimate Team packs. And then when you buy the Ultimate Team packs, they're random. It's like buying a pack of baseball cards.
Right.
You don't know who's in the pack. You don't know who's in the pack until you open it. So, I mean, if somebody wants to drop $1,000 on Ultimate Team cards and they get all the best players, they're going to have a better chance. But at the end of the day, I will say FIFA, and it's unique, and it's one of the more unique video games where you can have the best team. If you don't understand how soccer is and you're not skilled, you're still going to lose.
Right.
And that's one thing I do like about FIFA, that you can have the best team, but if the person you're playing against is more skilled at the game than you will lose. And it's not just skill, it's knowing when and how to use the special moves and also your set pieces and all that other stuff. So I've not run. I think years ago there was an issue where there was some kind of glitch where people can do some odd stuff with the goalie, but I've not run into, like in Madden. In Madden is always one play that the AI can't figure out. I've not run into that with FIFA. So
okay,
I still think it'll be fair because the best players, regardless of what players they're using, will still be the best players.
Right. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with it. I mean, man. Like these big collaborations just to like get players in to these huge events is like we've been saying for a while now. It's where the money is,
Yeah, definitely.
But if there's anything that we can say at this point in time is that they won't be using the Switch version because you can't even invite your friends on that version of the game. So that's one thing. But yeah, that's just crazy, man. And now we're still talking with EA. But this time not in such a good light. And EA has had some very negative press in the last couple of weeks with everything that's been going down as far as shutting down studios like Visceral or ending projects like the Star Wars project or whatever.
Well, they didn't end it; they just moved it. They shut down Visceral and gave it to somebody else.
Well, but the entire premise of what they were going for has been canceled. They're starting from scratch.
Yeah, they're starting from scratch.
Yeah, they're starting from scratch. So EA has definitely not been in everybody's good graces, and this story that we're about to tell you guys does not help that cause.
Nope.
Because they, by court order, have forced the shutdown of fan-run servers that were hosting older Battlefield games like Battlefield Heroes, Battlefield 2, and Battlefield 2142.
Yep.
Now, go ahead, Boogie. Because I'm not a huge fan of the Battlefield franchise, so I'll let you go ahead and take this one.
Yeah. So the network was called Revive Network, right? So those three Battlefield games, Battlefield 2, 2142, and Battlefield Heroes, were actually run on GameSpy servers. And GameSpy shut down in 2014, and when they shut down, so did the EA servers. So did the game servers. Mm-hmm. And those games are much older than 2014. I don't remember years. Like 06, 06. I know Battlefield 2 came out around the time, like the year before Xbox 360 released.
Okay.
Battlefield 2142 came out like 2 or 3 years after that. That was a sequel. And Battlefield Heroes came out around the time Team Fortress 2 was getting real popular. Because Battlefield Heroes is basically a knockoff of Team Fortress 2.
Right, with the super cartoony stylized graphics and all that.
Yeah, but for the past 3 years after the GameSpy servers shut down, these group of volunteers, they're like they're developers and fans and such. They weren't charging anybody. It was no cost. They bootstrapped it. They were running servers for these games, and they just received a cease and desist letter from the EA's legal team, and they said, you know what, we're not making money off of this. There's no reason for us to even think about fighting it. So they just pulled the service down. And what it was is the letter specifically didn't mention them running the servers, but it did mention them using IP and likenesses and images to promote the service.
Right.
So yeah, they shut down these fan services. Battlefield Heroes was actually the most recent
out of the 3 games.
Edition for support, and I think within a month they got like something like 175,000 users, and they had almost 1 million people registered on their sites that were either playing one of the 3 games. So it was a pretty sizable community that was still playing these games. But EA says no, this is ours, and you can't have it.
Yeah, you can't have it. You can't share with your friends. You can't do any of that. So it's very unfortunate, because there's not a lot of like support for like these older games, and that's with any franchise. Any time that you move on to different consoles, different lifespans or whatever, or just sequels in the series, there comes a time where the games will no longer be supported. And for some really like hardcore gamers, like that's unfortunate. Like I can remember specifically when the Halo 2 servers went down. Like it was like an event, where everybody that was currently in there just stayed.
Yeah, for days.
They
delayed it because as long as there was a persistent connection, they weren't going to shut the servers down.
They didn't shut it down. So
yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
it was more of an event, than anything. But this cease and desist from a fan effort to keep these games alive. I mean, I don't see where the harm in, just allowing people to play your games that they love for an extended amount of time. I don't see the harm in it.
Right, because all they were doing was running servers. Everybody that were playing had to have their own copy. Now, whether these people with these copies were getting them pirated or not, that's another story for another day. But at the end of the day, the actual users, this revived network, they weren't profiting off of EA. And all they were doing was running servers. So I don't necessarily get it. I don't get it. I've always sided with the companies, whereas
as far as
making
protecting
protecting IP, making fan-based games and stuff like that. But something like this, I'm a little more liberal with, because I don't see, if I'm just hosting a server at my own cost so people can play a game, I'm not making any modifications to it. Again, I'm not selling the game. I'm not profiting off of it. What was the harm in that?
Right. Yeah, and then that's exactly what I was going to say. It's not like this is a mod or anything, or they're taking or modifying or changing up the source code to make something that they are calling their own, quote unquote. No. It's just allowing people to continue to play the games that they love playing. And it's super unfortunate. Not the best news for EA, especially with everything else that's been going on with them. So I mean, I don't even know what else to say about it. I mean, rest in peace to these 3 classic Battlefield games. I remember Battlefield Heroes. I remember when it was coming out and all like that. The hype behind it. It looks really cool. It's super stylized, and supposedly it's like super fun.
Well, yeah, out of these games, Battlefield 2 is the game that got me into multiplayer shooters. Because before that, I didn't really play them. I played them every now and then, but I didn't really play them. Battlefield 2, with its scale, the vehicles, being able to fly the airplane and be able to get in the tanks and even be able to defend and attack those and defend yourself against them. That's what really got me into the first person shooter, especially the multiplayer, the PvP portion of it. And I have fond memories of Battlefield 2 Battlefield 2142, they could have skipped that one. But Battlefield 2 was a fabulous game. I have fond memories of it. Yeah, and it sucks.
And it's actually weird because Disney, they actually went out of their way to bring back multiplayer support for the classic Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Yep, this is the exact opposite of what Disney did. Yeah, Disney did, because that was also on fan run servers, and they said, okay, let's do something a little more official because we have so many players that want to play it, and the numbers were similar to this, and this is the same thing. I mean, you have almost 1 million people that still are playing this game. 1 million people, you may think it's not a lot. That's a lot of goddamn people playing this game.
Yeah,
that's a ton of people playing this game. I mean,
and doing something like this, going the legal route, with the cease and desist or whatnot, it just sets a bad precedent. These people that are playing these old games probably have no interest in the newer games. That's why they're still playing the older games. So you are taking away the only thing that are like holding these players to your franchise.
Right.
So it just sucks, man. It sucks when things like this happen. Especially when there's no malicious intent.
Exactly. Yeah, it's something like I said, something like this. I think this is a little bit heavy. It's quite a bit heavy-handed. I mean, if like you said, if they were making some mods and doing all kinds of crazy stuff and selling special mods and stuff, that's one thing. But just to be running servers so people can continue to play the game is something different. And this is something.
Yeah, and on their own dollars, like they spending their own money to just like keep the dream alive.
It's unnecessary. Like I said, they weren't profiting off of it. They were bootstrapping these servers. So
but maybe EA has something planned. Further down the line, maybe they'll do something more official. We won't know until it happens. But it's just an unfortunate thing to happen to something that was like seemingly so innocent.
Yep. Exactly.
Man, that really sucks. Damn, I'd be really sad if that happened to me.
Definitely.
Yeah,
and that's a bigger problem, and we're going to be running into a lot more with the current advent of games where games are always on and have to run off servers. When these companies decide they're not going to support the game anymore, you're not going to be able to play it.
Yeah,
right. I mean, a game like Destiny, a game like any of the Call of Duty multiplayer games, the Halos and the Gears of Wars, all those games that are supported by or server supported, even new games coming out like Anthem is going to be same as Destiny type of game, like always on massive multiplayer.
And if it flops and they decide they don't want to freaking support it no more, then what?
Yeah, you're screwed. I mean,
you're screwed. It's just like just like with that one game,
Battle. Oh gosh.
No, it was at Disney Infinity or whatever.
Oh yeah, Disney Infinity.
Yeah, they just shut the whole thing down.
Yeah, all your toys are useless except unless they're Disney collectibles. I mean, there's a huge secondary market for those Disney Infinity collectibles.
Figurines.
Yeah, but other than that, I mean, you're just SOL.
Yeah. So super unfortunate, but that's what happens,
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So, but yeah, that was our top 5 news stories. Again, if you have any stories that you want to submit to us, let us know via our social media. The links are like down below. You can like see them underneath our little titles here. You can also leave messages on our YouTube or wherever you are viewing this content. You can always leave us messages, leave us suggestions for stories, and if they're worthy, we'll definitely talk about them. And we'll credit you as well. Like this story was brought to us by so and so. Like I have no problem giving you guys props. But now we're gonna move on to the next segment, which is the long form. And this is just a discussion topic that we are going to bring up and just elaborate a little bit on. It's kind of like we take one individual topic and we kind of just elaborate on it. And this week we have a topic that comes from us from Boogie. So Boogie, why don't you go ahead and introduce it? What we got?
Yeah, let's talk about failed gaming tech.
Oh yeah,
that's coming up because obviously we bid adieu to the Kinect.
Right.
I mean, it will go down as a failed gaming tech because it is.
It is, yeah. Unfortunately, yeah.
I mean, there's a niche for it, but it didn't catch on to the masses, and it's gone. But we beat up Kinect, so let's talk about some other gaming tech items that were released that didn't quite go so well. I have a few on the list that were like,
yeah, I was like, yo, these are just super obscure, dude.
I have a few. I have a few on here. I'm an old head, right? So I'm gonna go in chronological order.
Okay.
The first one was Rob. If you don't know what Rob is, back in 1985, when the Nintendo Entertainment System was first released, you can buy a bundle that came with a little robot that dropped these little spinning tops onto these little plastic pieces to make stuff happen in the game.
Right. Basically turning a single player experience into a like co-op experience with the robot. Like he was the robotic operating buddy. That's what he was actually called.
Yeah. Biggest problem with it, he was
slow,
clunky,
batteries.
And there were only 2 games that came out that worked with them. One was Gyromite, which came packed in, and the other one
Stack Up.
That's it. I never played that. I had a friend that had this Rob, and like when I first met him, I was like, "Oh, you got Rob? Set it up." He's like, "Man, that thing is dumb." It's just, he's like, "You know how much trouble?" He's like, "You set it up." I said, "Okay." 25 minutes later, I set it up. And about 3 minutes in using it, I was like, okay, I'm done here. That's the type of experience it was. I mean, I guess it was a cool idea. It was more of a marketing tool, but the thing is, it had a huge premium price. It made the Nintendo Entertainment System twice the price it normally would be.
Wow.
For something that you can use for 2 games. And that was it.
Yeah, a lot of people know Rob now as one of the characters in the Smash Brothers series because he's appeared in both Smash Brawl and Smash for Wii U and 3DS. And so
unlockable in Mario Kart as well.
Oh yeah, he's a Mario Kart character as well. So he's been around, and he's actually he pilots the Great Fox in the Star Fox games.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Rob. Yeah, Rob, awesome. I think that started in 64 though. I don't think it was in the first game, but 64 going forward, Rob pilots the Great Fox, which is like the big the big ship that houses the R-Wing. So yeah, Rob has been around for a little while, but yeah, that is definitely a failed peripheral if I've ever heard of one.
The next one was, this is from 1989, the Power Glove. The Power Glove made a movie appearance.
So bad.
The Power Glove made a movie appearance, but again, I remember the commercials. Now you're playing with power.
Yeah.
Oh man, it basically was a plastic glove that had the controller on the hand,
on the wrist or whatever.
On the wrist, yeah, and it was actually supposed to be like it's one of the first forays into motion control because it's supposed to be a motion control type device, but yeah, it crashed and burned. You had to have the controller, and then you had this little frame that you had to put up
like around your CRT TV. Yeah, you had to put these like 2 little like things like right on the edge, and like that would be able to like capture detect the motions, and each like move of your finger was supposed to be like a button input or something like that. But then you also had to input these like elaborate codes using the keypad on your wrist in order to get the Power Glove to function with that game. So, oh god! But it was in that movie, The Wizard, I believe.
The Wizard, yeah.
Yeah, it was showcased in that movie.
Of course, you know that was produced by Nintendo.
Oh my god, that was a Nintendo marketing campaign in 60 minutes. That's pretty much it. There's so much Nintendo, it's outstanding.
I mean, the interesting thing about this actually wasn't manufactured or by Nintendo, it was licensed by Nintendo, but it was actually made by Mattel.
Yeah, the toy making company. And it was only available for a year.
Yep.
Like they had it on the market for a year, and then that thing
nobody bought it.
Yeah, nobody bought it, and they discontinued it.
Yeah, it had only 2 or 3 games. Only had a handful of games that were available or compatible with it as well. That seems to be the issue with Nintendo.
It's pretty expensive too.
What? $75 in the 80s. That's like $150 now.
Yeah,
it's nuts. And then another one, which also was a motion control, was a Sega Activator.
Oh god, I'd never.
So bad. I never got it, but I wanted
it. I've never heard of this until I've never even seen one of these in person. But
you don't remember this?
No, I have no recollection of this, but I have seen it like online, like people like joking and talking about it, like the Angry Video Game Nerd on YouTube.
Yeah,
he has all of this like old gaming tech, but I've never heard of this thing. and it looks like a freaking mess.
Yeah, so basically, what it was, it's this big plastic thing. It's an octagon. You
looks like a train set.
Yeah, you click it together like tracks, pretty much.
Yeah.
You plug it into your controller port too, I think. And what it supposedly does is send infrared signals up, and left or right would be A and B, and you punch the different areas to press the buttons. And it was odd, but the commercial was pretty badass. So it looked really cool. I never got one. I wanted one. But yeah, the Sega Activate, that didn't go anywhere either. I mean, it was only a few games. Best of the Best, Eternal Champions, which Eternal Champions, that was one of my favorite fighting games from back in the day. You ever played Eternal Champions?
No, I've never played Eternal Champions, but it was compatible with Streets of Rage 3. Yeah, and that's my jam.
The Greatest Heavyweights, which is a boxing game. Eternal Champions was it's a fighting game, 2D, like Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, but you played as deities, like Greek gods.
Oh, okay.
That was one of the first games that had level, because it had executions or fatalities.
Fatalities.
Yeah, it had level fatalities. Oh, it was so good. Oh,
stage fatalities. Oh, snap. Yeah, I've never played Eternal Champions. I may have to.
Awesome.
Have to give it a try.
Yeah, we spent a lot of hours. As I say, DT, there was no gods in. I think there was one, the Trident guy, who was. But yeah, it was good. I remember that game a lot. Oh, played it so good, so good.
So good. It's so good. It's so bad. And then the last one that we have is what?
More recently, the Move controllers.
Yeah, Move controllers.
PlayStation Move controllers. I mean, it's still technically alive because they tied it in with the
with
the
VR.
But it really isn't, because you don't necessarily need the Move controller to play the PSVR. Nobody really used them, and what people are forgetting is that the PlayStation Move also had a nunchuck. It had a wireless nunchuck. Remember?
No.
It had the one controller with the bobble glow
with the little blow, not the blow, but the glow. The glow stick thing.
Yep. And then it had another one that had the rest of the buttons.
Oh,
and it was it was just like the Nintendo Switch. I mean, not the Nintendo Switch. I'm sorry,
the Wii.
It had the waggle, and then it had the nunchuck for your controls. It's the same exact thing. The difference between PlayStations and Nintendos is PlayStations was wireless. What to do? They called it the navigation controller.
Okay.
Yeah, that's another thing. That flopped out of the gate. That was.
Because I mean, it was a shameless ripoff. I mean, everybody was definitely trying to get into motion controls. I mean, it was the biggest craze. But I mean, Sony was just a blatant ripoff, dude.
That was 100% a Me Too device, where at least Microsoft's like, okay, we want motion controls, but we're gonna go our way. They came out with the Kinect. Yeah. Sony's like, Kinect. They said we're gonna do
exactly what they're doing.
No, they said we're gonna do both. We're gonna make a camera and we're gonna do the controller.
No, but the PlayStation Eye was already a thing.
Yeah, but remember, to use the Move, you had to have the Move camera, or you had to have
you had to have the PlayStation Eye in order to use the Move. Yeah,
right. Or you had to do. Then they had the Move camera, which is also being used for the PS.
Yeah. PlayStation was all about Me Too, because I remember the 360 actually came bundled in with a camera where you can play certain games and then play dog. Uno, early 360 Uno was crazy.
That's all you got. Uno. Like, what that? Why?
That shit was wild, dog.
Junk, man. Get out of here.
That shit was crazy. But then they came out with the Eye, and then when everybody started using motion controls, they came out with the Move. It's like, man, like they were some Mr. Me Too's out here in the PS3 era.
They still are. It's just not as blatant as it had been before.
Right.
But they all are. That's how this industry is, right? Everybody,
pretty much.
You copy the most successful.
Yep. That's why everybody's getting up on that PUBG type tip right now.
The battle royale.
Yeah, battle royales, man, is coming.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, those were on the top of my list. The Activator was like the top for me. Failed technology, and then the Rob. None of these I had. I mean, I can talk about some that I had. Like, I had a Sega Saturn.
Yeah, Saturn. That was a failure. The 32X, like all of the Genesis like peripheral like add-ons, like those things were terribly failed.
I had the Sega Genesis monstrosity, whereas the Genesis plugged into the Sega CD,
and then the 32X.
I had it all. I had it that set up.
Yeah, no, I wanted it so bad just because of how big of a Sega fanboy I was. Like, I was all about Sega, but my mom was not about wasting money. And like my mom, she was into gaming at the time, like early '90s or whatever.
She's visionary.
Yeah, so she knew that the Saturn was on the way. So she like, why would I buy the 32X when I can just wait for the Saturn? Like my mom was like into that, but then when the Saturn came out, like there was nothing to play, so she didn't buy it. I didn't end up getting another Sega console until the Dreamcast. I went from the Genesis like directly to the Dreamcast when that came out.
You missing the Saturn. You didn't miss anything.
Didn't miss anything. Yeah, I missed out on Knights and Panzer Dragoon, and that's about it.
Yeah, it's true. But I mean, it's what they did to the Saturn is horrible. I mean,
Sega kind of built its own grave, man. Like they and we could talk about that in another long form.
Yeah.
But what else? What other failed gaming technical devices? What's it called? Oh my God, what was that? The Nintendo thing, the Virtual Boy.
Oh God, the headache inducer.
Yes,
the
dude.
Virtual Boy. Oh my God, that's
Lord.
early VR. I remember going into a Best Buy and they had that joint set up, and I played that Mario game for like 10 minutes, and I wanted to kill myself afterwards because my eyes throbbed for a good hour.
Like, dude, my cousin.
Oh my gosh, it was.
I remember I went to one of my cousin's house. On my mom's side, and he had it, and I was like, "Oh my God, this looks so cool!" I'd actually never seen it until that point. Like, I didn't really like see any commercials or anything. This is before the internet, of course. Right. Unless you had like gaming magazines, you were like out of the loop until you went to somebody's house and they had something. You're like, "What the heck is that?" So it's so freaking like weird and clunky. The way that he showed me how to play it was that you lean back on the couch, right? And you just basically just sat it on your face.
Oh, really?
Like this. Like you just like leaning back. That's how he did it. And so like you have your head back, leaning on the couch, and you just like balance it on the top of your face. And like that's how you used it. And like, man, it was I don't even remember what game he had. I think he had Wario. And because that whole thing only had about like 6 or 7 games total.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a massive failure right there.
Right. Another one
else you can think of?
Yeah, do you remember the Engage?
Oh my God. Yo, the Engage that joke was trying to be the realest out here. That joke was a portable gaming device and a cell phone. Oh shit.
It was retarded because it was like a clash, but then you had to turn it sideways and talk
on the taco. That's what it was called. When you use it as a phone, it looked like a freaking taco held up to your head. A taco shell.
You had to take the battery out to change games.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. You had to.
Did you have one?
No, I didn't.
Okay, I was about to get you.
I just knew about it. I knew I was close because this was on the early smartphone.
Hello.
This is the early smartphone days, and you know, I was looking at that. I wound up getting like this Nokia. What was it? The Nokia 910. Mm-hmm. That was a weird phone too because the keys were in a circle on the bottom instead of the Engage. But yeah. Okay. That was early on. What else? The PSP Go was another.
Oh yeah, PSP in general was a flop.
Yeah.
But the PSP Go was like extra flop. It's like, why would you make a PSP that is not compatible with PSP games?
Yeah.
Like with like no UMD like functionality. That was the dumbest thing ever.
Again, I think it's way before their time, and what they did is. What they needed to do is if they were going to do something like that, they needed to go ahead and sunset the PSP and make this a PSP2 with something new, upgraded, like whatever, like the PS Vita, right? All the new specs and everything, and just say, hey, this is not going to use this. All of the games you have to download. But yeah, they did something bad there.
Yeah, they shot themselves in the foot with that one.
Mm-hmm. Then we said the Virtual Boy. There's also the I don't know. Oh, the Atari Lynx. Remember that?
Oh yeah, the Atari after the 2600 was just they were just flop after flop. They had the Neo Geo Pocket.
Neo Geo in general was a flop.
Yeah, Neo Geo
they charged too much for that. I mean, it's like $800. It's $800 in the 90s, which would have been like selling a PlayStation 4 Pro now for like $1,500. Mm-hmm. It was silly.
Oh, going back to the Nintendo, the disc drive. The N64 DD. You don't remember
that? Never came out. No,
it never came out in America, but it was released and it was a major flop. Yeah, oh yeah, it came out in Japan.
Oh no!
Oh yeah, the N64 DD. Yeah, I remember that. Oh, the Ouya. Remember that shit?
Oh yeah, that's super flopped.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna take Android games and let you play it on your TV. Nobody in their right mind wanted that nonsense.
Nobody wanted it.
Who? What? I want to play. I want to play cell phone games on my TV. Why would I want to do that? That makes no sense. Yeah, the Ouya. That was a bad idea from the start. I predicted that would flop to anybody that would listen to me because I said nobody wants to do this.
Yeah, nobody wants this. Nobody wanted that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that thing was universally panned. Like any kind of Philips console failed.
Oh, yeah. The 3DO
and the
CDI and all of that stuff.
Jones.
Failures. Then there was Apple. Remember the Apple Pippin?
Hell no! What the heck is that?
Apple Pippin was it was Apple's version of a console game. PIPPEN. Apple Pippin.
Oh God, I'm looking at it right now. This thing's ugly.
Yeah.
Little boomerang controller. Oh, that's an ugly looking console, man.
Apple Pippin. That didn't go anywhere. I don't know if it released fully. I know it was prototype. They
came out. Release date came out in America September 1st, 1996.
So it lasted a year
for $600. Jesus Christ.
Yep. So that's another one. I mean, the console failures are
massive failures.
Immense.
Yeah.
Immense. We can even point to one that's currently on live support, your Steam boxes.
Oh yeah, Steam boxes. The Wii U is considered a failure.
Oh yeah, that was a huge failure.
Yeah.
I would say the Wii is a failure if it didn't sell so well. I mean, it sold like hotcakes.
Yeah, it sold like hotcakes, yeah, but the Wii U definitely did not sell like that.
No, definitely not. I can't think. I'm trying to think of some other ones.
I think that's all I got. Yeah, we said Neo Geo. Yeah, I think that's it.
Geo's a failure. Oh, Atari Jaguar. Yeah, but you said anything. Anything after 2600. I don't know. The 5200 was pretty good.
Okay, I'll give you that.
But yeah,
but like the 7800, that was a failure.
Yeah, it was a flop. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a horrible system, but by that time, Atari had lost it. It was done.
Yeah,
it was nothing they can do at that time.
Right.
I mean, the Jaguar was pretty awfully horrible.
Right.
How about any other peripherals you can think of? I can't think of.
I can't think of many more peripherals. I mean,
the Wavebird.
I wouldn't say the Wavebird was a flop. I mean, it was. I never had it. Oh, actually had them shits, and I remember when I went to his house for the first time, and he had the Wavebirds. I was like, "Yo, you got the Wavebirds? Yo, the Wavebirds are legit." And I believe they work with the adapter as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because we talked about that earlier in the podcast.
I mean, the
GameCube adapter.
GameCube adapter. Yeah. Oh, that would be super cool.
Yeah, I think they're still compatible. Yeah, those are some super like limited, controllers right there. What do you mean?
Wasn't there an issue with the range being limited?
I'm not sure. I'm just talking about in terms of like how many are like out
available
right now.
Yeah.
Like nobody has them shits.
Yeah, the Wavebirds. Check on eBay. They're like $300 or something stupid like that.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the Dreamcast. Yeah, that was considered a failure. But yeah, I think that's about it.
That's about it. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. I'm sure there's other. Oh, the Gizmondo, which was. You don't remember that?
No.
That was another one of the cell phone is everything. It's like right at the cusp of the smartphone revolution. Okay. It was like almost like a Engage type device, the Gizmondo.
Oh yeah, no, never heard about that.
Go look it up because it's an odd looking little piece of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, there was that. I think that was made by Tiger.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of anything else though. That's about it.
Yeah, I can't think of much else. Yeah, I'm pretty tapped out too. I think we've mentioned enough. Yeah, maybe if you guys have any more that we missed, list them down in the comments section. Let us know if we missed any, because I think we hit like most of the big name. I can't think of anything. Anymore.
I can't think of anything else. I mean, we hit Neo Geo Pocket. Oh, the Sega Nomad, that was a failure.
Oh man, yeah. Well, that was like a portable Genesis, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a handheld Genesis. And the thing is, everybody loved it except that the battery life was like 15 minutes.
Jesus.
It used like 8 AA batteries, and the battery life didn't last worth anything.
Yeah,
that was the biggest issue, is that because outside of the non-existent battery life, it was well done.
Yeah,
and you can actually plug in your Genesis cartridge right into the bottom,
right into it. Yep,
and play it. But yeah, that didn't work out so well.
Yeah.
We said the engages. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't see anything else. I'm done here.
Okay, so yeah, let us know if we missed any. What's your favorite failed gaming technical device, whether it's a peripheral or like a console in general? Let us know which one you had and which one is your favorite. Oh God, the activator. Anyway, but yeah, let's go ahead and move on to our next segment. This is gonna be our final segment, and it's our final thoughts. And this is where we just revisit all of the stories that we talked about today and just give our final 2 cents on each of them. I think I'll go first.
Yep.
As far as the Destiny 2 bans, see, I was under the impression that you didn't receive any kind of information on why you were banned, but it seems like, when you appeal, they give you the reason. So, yep. I mean, if you're banned, it was for a good reason. The people that were unbanned, were definitely banned unjustly.
Yeah. Right.
But I mean, dude, like see, here's my thing with the predominance of like cheating software. Like this was like, I don't know why people are so surprised. Like 400 is not a big number.
No.
Considering like how like prominent these freaking like cheating tools are. So yeah, it really diminishes like the, oh my God, 400 people. Like yeah, no, that they probably could have gotten away with banning a lot more. But yep. they're definitely not playing around. So don't cheat online in Destiny 2. Like they are not having it. The live action Contra movie and TV show, I'm actually curious to see where it goes. Hopefully it's more of a, I really hope that they go towards like a Netflix thing instead of trying to make like a big budget like theatrical release. I don't think that will go over as well. But just seeing how a lot of people that know about Contra are, around our age, it may actually be like a sleeper hit. It may resonate with a lot of people that are our age, that grew up in the NES era. The Metal Gear Survive, whatever. That's a game that not even Metal Gear fans are excited for. So that's a whatever story. I just thought that we should add it in because we were talking about Konami, but it's kind of a blah story, and yeah. Metal Gear Survive is going to be a blah game. It's only going to be $40. So any time a spin-off title of a major franchise is $40. I mean, they're not expecting to reap a whole lot from it. So it's just a cash grab, and they're going to get as many people as they possibly can with it. So it's whatever. The Mass Effect Andromeda novel coming out soon. For those that wanted closure, this is a good thing, but I still think that EA maybe pulled out a little too soon as far as like the Andromeda series or whatever. Mm-hmm. They pulled out a little too soon, man. I really feel like if they put the work, like the damage was done, right?
Right.
They released it early. All they needed to do at that point was just stick it out, fix it, and make it a better experience so that, when it came around for the Game of the Year edition, it had all of those bugs ironed out, completely satisfied customers then,
I think it was less about the game and its performance and more about the fact that they didn't see a long-term way of continually to monetize the game.
That too. But whatever. As far as the Kinect, I mean, I still have mine. It's plugged up to my Xbox One right now, and it will continue to be so, and until I eventually upgrade to a 1X, which is what I've decided to do once I get some money. I will upgrade, but for right now, I'm chilling. I'm chilling with my Kinect, man. It does what I want it to do, and that's not to play games. The games for gold, I'm actually excited about 2 of the games. The one Trackmania and Nights into Dreams. I'm definitely going to play those 2. I'm not really into the Telltale series of games, although I am a Borderlands fan, so I may try that out, but I'm not super like hyped about it. The other generic adventure shooter game, I'm going to pass on that one. I'm not even going to download it. But
as a Borderlands fan, I would recommend it.
If you're I may give it. I may give it a shot. The FIFA and EA collaboration with the eWorld Cup, that's major, man. There's a lot of money being thrown around into esports, and this is just another example out of the many that we've talked about over the last few weeks. EA shutting down the fan servers again is just unfortunate when dedicated fans go out of their way to do something special and seemingly innocent, and it gets shut down from the higher ups. So it's really unfortunate. Hopefully something comes down the line in the future that will allow those players to continue playing those games that they love so much. Hopefully
EA is going to charge them. Probably,
but here's to that not happening. Like, let's hope that doesn't happen. That would really suck. What else? Oh yeah, that was it. So yeah, what your final thoughts?
Going back to the Destiny 2 players being banned. I mean, if you got banned, you got banned for proper reasons. I like I said earlier, I think this is a public lynching, a public hanging. Is them Bungie saying, hey, look, this is what we're going to do. Tread at your own risk, and hopefully it'll scare off some of the people, because like I said, cheating in Destiny is rampant. It's been rampant since Trials of Osiris has started, and it continues to be rampant. So yeah, I don't have a problem with that. And like I said, and you mentioned too, I mean, there is an appeal process. So if you're worried about being banned and not being told why, appeal your ban, and they'll tell you exactly why you got banned.
Yeah.
And then post it for us to see why.
Exactly.
The live action for Contra, like I said, it's just Alien shoot 'em up. I agree with you. I would like to see it released on like a streaming service, be it developed for Netflix or Amazon Prime or whatever. I don't think it's a AAA type blockbuster movie in the works. Or a major network TV show or HBO along the lines of like Game of Thrones, Walking Dead type thing. But it's definitely interesting, especially considering Konami only makes slot machines now,
right?
And they're not into video game development. If this is what they have for their IPs, to be quite honest, if this is what they're going to be doing with the IPs, I'd rather them just sell them to somebody that's going to do something with it.
Yeah, especially Castlevania, man. It has such a freaking following.
Yep.
That I'm sure somebody would love to have it,
Yeah, definitely.
But knowing Konami, they're probably going to just like hang on.
They just kill it. Yeah,
they're going to hang on to it.
Team Ninja Castlevania would be awesome.
Oh my god, that would be dope.
But, yeah. The Metal Gear Survive, I think, whatever. I'm just going to skip over that.
Yeah.
Mass Effect Andromeda novel, I don't like it. I guess it's okay because at least people that really want the closure can get closure. I just wish they would have just stuck with the game and finished it up.
Right.
The Kinect, I still have my Kinect. I still use it to play games or a game or two. I definitely use it all the time to navigate across my Xbox when I'm all bundled and don't want to take my hands out. It's not a gaming device, and it never really was. The games with gold, I'm excited about Knights. I will get Trackmania. I'm pretty sure I played that game before. I just don't remember in what context. But I get that. I already have Tales from the Borderlands, the season 1. But like I said, if you're a Borderlands fan or you're a Telltale Games fan, either one of those, I would recommend it. And the last game, I'm gonna skip that one. Animal Crossing Pocket, I mean, that's definitely a money grab for Nintendo. The people that play Animal Crossing are diehards, and they'll get in that game and they'll spend money. You watch and see. The FIFA EA collaboration on the eWorld Cup, that's super cool, and that's actually even leading into the esports at the Olympics type of thing, because the guy, I forgot his name, but the head of the IOC was saying he would rather have video games that are current sports, and definitely FIFA in the Olympics could be a thing, could be something that's in the future. Just shutting down the fan servers, I think that sucks. I mean, it's one thing to shut down somebody that's making
like mods and stuff.
Yeah, it's one thing to shut down somebody that's making a fan-made game or modding your game, and or is making a profit off your game. And these guys were doing none of those. They were just any money, as far from my understanding, any money that they got off of their site, they just put back into maintaining the servers.
Right.
It was a non-profit type organization. They were just propping up the games for people to play. I thought it's quite heavy-handed and unnecessary on EA's part.
Yeah, but that's what happens. Like we said, that's what happens when you take other people's IPs into your own hands. They can be stripped away just as quickly as when you decided to put your time and effort into it.
Yeah,
which is unfortunate. But yeah, so that was our final thoughts. Let us know what you guys think down in the comment section below. We appreciate any kind of feedback or just engage with us, because we pride ourselves in not being the first people to get the news out, but just engaging in conversation with you guys, because that's what we're all about. We bring you the news, but then we also want to discuss it with you and argue some of the major points of each story. So let us know what you think. If you agree with us, if you disagree with us, let us know down in the comment section of the respective place that you're watching it, whether it's on YouTube, on Facebook, or if you're listening on your favorite streaming or podcasting device. And just in case you don't know, Boogie, why don't you let them know exactly where they can listen to us if they want to take us on the go?
Right. On the go, if you're taking us on the go, you can get us on iTunes, you can get us in Google Play, you get us in TuneIn Radio, and your favorite podcast catcher, because we are in the general podcasting directory. Just search us using our call letters, AWGNS, or type us out fully, A Weekly Gaming News Show, and we'll be there.
Yep. And if you want to watch us live, we go live every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on YouTube, Twitch, Mixer, and Facebook. If you want to catch the, I wouldn't say abridged version, but if you want to catch the upload, that goes live every Monday at noon Eastern Time on YouTube and your favorite podcasting app. And I think that's going to do it for this week.
Yep.
Unless you have anything else. You have anything else you want to add?
Nope, I'm tapped out.
You're tapped out, yes. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and end it for here. We want to thank everybody for tuning in. We want to thank everybody for listening. We are your hosts. This has been a Weekly Gaming News Show, episode 72. And yeah, my name is Trenell.
My name is Todd.
And we will catch you guys next week.
Peace
Peace out.